Here we go. Okay, welcome everybody. I thought that I wouldn't be able to see you, but I can, which I actually like this better. So you actually can turn your camera off if you weren't expecting it. But I love seeing your faces. I love being here with all of you. So I'm really excited to talk about this content. One, it's been life-changing for me, but I also know that it's been pretty life-changing for a lot of people in this, and I know the oils are amazing. We all probably here have a love for the oils, and that it would be selfish for us to keep all of the good news to ourselves, that you can actually get your oils paid for, and quite a bit more than that if you're interested in sharing about oils and supplementing or replacing income altogether. Okay, one last question, Jenna. I have my outline up so I don't miss anything. Can you see that, or just the slides?
I believe I just see the slides.
Okay, perfect. And I just want to make sure that I'm not covering a slide for anyone as I make sure. Okay. So a little bit more about me. Obviously, there's lots of educators in our Kindred Wellness group, but I'll tell you a little bit about my story getting into Doterra. Again, Kate Clifford, for those of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, and I am a diamond leader with Doterra. And I got into essential oils for my daughter about just over 3 years ago. And I started the business side of this very quickly after, because I was ready. I was ready for something to do as my own. The oils were life-changing. I was kind of all in from the get-go, but that's not the norm. But for me, I got into oils for her because she was this clean slate to me. The oils did everything I was told they would do and fell in love, like many of you here that are loving your oils. But as far as the business side goes, this is another huge point of health and wellness for me, because it has provided us so much, and I'm so excited to share that piece with you. Not very long ago, maybe 6 to 9 months ago, my husband, his job, he had a very good job, and they asked him to start working more, which would mean he'd be working from 8 to 8. Which we have 2 little ones. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and it was not an appealing lifestyle to have. My husband gone, me working from home from 8 to 8. So he was able to quit his job because of this opportunity that I created something with Doterra. And more recently, within the past 3 months, he actually started his own business with this hidden talent we didn't know he had, and that has boomed for him. So it's really exciting. One little decision to say yes and share oils, maybe it feels like a big decision. It was a little decision for me, and it has launched us into this very exciting path that otherwise we would not have found. So it's really fun stuff I have for you. Okay, so one of the reasons I'm also excited to share this with you is because this is something I like to call the 4-year retirement plan. And what that means is exactly what it sounds like. I can show you how to do this. So first things first, how do you do that? Some of you guys might know, some of you guys might have been in business to some capacity before, or you might just be new to residual income altogether. So residual income is when you are not trading time for money, and I want to explain how that works to you guys, for those of you guys that are new, and why I think that this is something that's very important. And then after that, we're going to go into why Doterra, how does Doterra stack up as a company, how does the compensation plan work, and all of the details. But again, feel free, if I don't answer your questions right away, make sure to put them in the chat box, and I will be sure to go back and answer them at the end of this. I want to make sure we get all of your questions answered. Okay, so how does it work? So in a traditional model, the way that this works is we are employees, or people are employees, right? We have someone that employs us and pays us to work for them. And this is, there's no judgment on this. This is a great place to start out, or a great place if you love your job. But this is your pay, or someone is paying you essentially to help their dreams come true, and you are trading time for money. So this is called a linear relationship. It's 1-to-1. 1 hour equals your paycheck, $1. It's probably not $1, but you know what I mean. You're trading $1 for time. In the second quadrant, what you're going to get is self-employed. And this is interesting because a lot of people are like, okay, I want to own my own business. I'm going to do it. And what you know, if you have been self-employed, is that really you're just an employee to yourself. You're working the same hours. It's a lot of time. In fact, it's a lot more time, especially for those first building years. I think on average, it's up to 5 years where that businesses are taking a loss altogether. That's very normal. So you get to choose which, 40 to 60 hours of the week you work. It's not necessarily more time freedom. So again, this is linear, and what we are talking about today, and as we talk about the compensation plan of Doterra, we're moving to the right side of the quadrant, and this is a business, right? This is when you own your own business and you get to have the assets, which is very important to this. So the definition of this is that you can actually walk away and the money is going to keep coming in, right? So you go to Starbucks, whoever owns it is not there making the coffee. The person making your latte isn't the owner. You set up a system, and the system that works when you're not there. So you leverage your time. We're creating leverage in the resources of other people, not just to benefit you, right, but to benefit everyone. The employees do need a job and they need benefits and they need, people need their coffee, especially for those of us that are here in the Northwest. We need that. But the goal from what I'm talking about today is to get to the right side of this quadrant. So I'm going to switch back to my slides. Okay. The next level is investor. So owning your own business, creating your own capital allows you to invest. And this is where the assets really and truly lie. So you have the linear, which is the left side of the quadrant, and you're creating leverage on the right side of the quadrant with business owner or investments. So the left side of the quadrant is based on effort. Right? You show up, you give your time, you give your resources, you give your knowledge, you give your expertise, and someone else gets to say how valuable that is to them. Whereas on this side, when you have assets, you kind of get to create your own value and your own compensation, essentially, depending on how you strategize with that. So as you begin a journey with Doterra, obviously there is in the beginning trading time for money, but the goal of what we would be teaching you to build is that, oh my goodness, there's some kind of lines going over the slides. I don't know how that's happening. Is someone else doing that? I don't know. Okay, I don't even know if you guys can see it. Maybe you can't even see it. But you can't measure your success based on the effort in the beginning, because what you're doing is building the asset. And that's a huge thing to remember. So not only are you building an asset for yourself, a doTERRA membership and any business you create within that, if you're upgraded to a wellness advocate, is actually willable. You can will that to your children, to someone else, if something were to happen to you. It's huge that you get to pass this on to someone else. It doesn't end, just because just because you end. That sounds so morbid, but you guys know what I mean. Okay, so in the typical American dream fashion, this is this is very basic, obviously. We are born, everyone goes to school, we graduate, maybe we go to college and graduate, and then at some point we enter the workforce, right? That's like our typical setup. And people do that all the way up until they retire. This is what they're working for. They're working towards their retirement. The interesting thing about this American dream is that it is based off of a very old and outdated system. It's based off how much money do you have, or this is what actually. So I'm going to go back to this for a little bit, you guys. So this American dream, if the goal is retirement, what is happening is we are hoping that we have saved enough money from working to be able to retire. That is the hope, and that is, our dream. So what's going to happen is you're going to meet with a financial advisor, probably. You're going to have someone invested in your whatever asset or business opportunities you've created or savings you've created, and they're going to ask you a couple of questions. First, they're going to ask you, how much money do you have? How much time do you have? How much time until you retire or do you have left to be able to work? And then how much money do you need at retirement to live, right? So these are the basic questions that they're going to ask you. And what they've found is the average person on a very basic level, just to get their needs met, live comfortably, is $4,500 a month on average. And so if you times that by 12 months throughout the year, that would be a salary of $54,000. But that's not what you need in the bank, because you need that every year, right? You don't want to just have 1 year's worth of retirement in your savings account or in your investments. So we're going to talk about something, this is a very conservative number if you're working with a financial advisor. They're probably not going to suggest you put it in stocks. You can, but that's obviously very risky. But they're going to probably suggest that you do it something conservative, and we're going to say 5%. Obviously, there's things that do higher than this, lower than this, but we're going to say a safe investment at 5% if this is where you are putting your money away from your working towards retirement. So if you do that by the 5%, the 54,000 average that people need, this is how much money you would have to have access to. Over $1 million. That is a lot. I don't know how many people you guys know that have that at retirement to be able to live comfortably at the average cost or the average living wage of in America. Okay, so when we're looking at this number, the average 50-year-old has $42,000 in savings, okay? That is nowhere near that $1 million that we were just talking about. And 75% of those 50-year-olds have less than $5,000 in their savings. 75%, 3 out of every 4. And I think we can think of people, right? We know people who are 50 and they have, maybe 10, 15, 20 years, however long until they see their retirement coming up, that have less than $5,000 saved. So is there a problem? Yes, this is the typical model. And what we're proposing here with residual income is that we have a very, very viable and very generous solution. And the problem is when you do this math, 98% of retirees 65 years and older are dependent on family, friends, and the government, and still working. And if any of you guys are paying attention to the news or politics or economics, it's not getting any better, at least as what we know to date, that we aren't even sure what will be in government savings by the time we get to retirement age. So the American dream that we have been working off of is working for 2% of people. So I think it's funny, a lot of times people will tell me that what I'm doing, oh, that's an unconventional way to work or to earn money or to earn a living, and not necessarily with any judgment, they're just commenting. And in my mind, it's a no-brainer because what's unconventional or what is mind-boggling to me is how many people are still invested into this system that's working for 2% of people. Those odds are not high at all. So this is where I get to share with you the very exciting part of Doterra as a business opportunity for those of you that are interested in that and see yourself sharing oils. I'm going to start with the compensation plan, and I'm going to go into a couple more things with you guys after that. Okay, so the very basic things with Doterra is you have to be using the oils. So it's a network marketing company, which means they're not paying for commercials or advertisements or any kind of marketing. That's how they pay us wellness advocates, by talking about the product. There's a few reasons they have to do that. The main one, they didn't have to, they chose to. The main reason is because you guys all know how much support you need with oils, especially if you're just starting out. There's very few people now that are getting into this with a wide knowledge base of essential oils in the body. and you need the mentorship or the coaching or the resources that the person enrolled you with is hopefully giving to you. And I know that on our team, that's a very strong piece of what we do is education, because it's so important, but also because that's really what we're doing, right? We're sharing oil. So that's why they've structured their compensation plan that way. Because of that, the cost to do this as a business, or to earn commission, I should say, is 100 PV. So most of us on here are already on loyalty rewards programs, or the loyalty rewards program, which means we're getting points back for the oils that we're using because we're using those oils anyway. I know that we spend more than that. My husband and I are both on the supplements. We're refilling oils. We're replacing non-toxic items in our home. So for most of us, that becomes a non-issue because most of us on this call are already spending that with or without earning compensation. But just so you guys know, the requirements are 100 PV on your LRP, and that's to ensure you're using the products. Since they don't pay for marketing, we are using their products, we can educate on them. It's also how the computer recognizes your account to pay you out for commission. The other thing is you have to make sure your account is upgraded to Wellness Advocate. And the person that invited you here can show you how to do that, but there's just a little button in your back office that says upgrade to Wellness Advocate. Super simple. And then there's a few different ways that you can get paid. So I'm going to go through that because it's very exciting. I think Doterra has a very generous compensation plan, and I have now been doing this long enough to be able to compare quite a few different compensation plans, and this one is very generous. So I'm excited for you guys. The first payout is Fast Start. So this is the fastest way to earn money with Doterra. So this is you. This little blue seafoam green person is you. And anytime you enroll anybody and share oils with them, they get their kit or whatever collection of oils they want to get, and they get 20%, or you get 20% of that order. And then say they enroll somebody, then you're going to get 10% of the person that they enrolls Fast Start, and they get the 20%, and so forth. Then if that person enrolls someone, you get the 5% all the way through. And this is for the first 60 days. So from when someone enrolls and anything they purchase in that first 60 days. And yes, you'll still earn commission after that, and I'll explain that in a second. The next bonus level is Power of 3. And this is a bonus, and this structures your team for leadership so that people in your team are getting support, and you are structuring in a way that is helpful to you in the future. So a lot of times, most of us that come into this don't come into this with any business experience. So they set this up very nicely to teach you how to maximize your team and structure it for success. So in the Power of 3 bonus is, if you're maintaining your 100 PV, and then you find 3 other people to do that as well who love the product, are going to use oils, maybe they also want to share with you and they want to join you in creating being a part of this movement, you will get a $50 bonus if all of your combined volume is 600 PV, if all those people earn 100 PV. And you get that every single month that those people will process that LRP. The cool thing is, and something we say in doTERRA, is earn the 50 and then teach the 50. So then you can teach those 3 people how to earn 50. And once you do that, you will get a $250 bonus every time all of those LRPs, each month those LRPs process. And it goes even one more level than that, which gives you a bonus of $1,500 every month, and that becomes a substantial difference in most people's income. If you could have an extra $1,500, what would that do for you? And you can duplicate this structure 2 times. So you can do this again, which is really cool. The next way that you get paid, so I told you in the Fast Start that you get paid for the first 60 days, that 20%, 10%, 5%, depending on where they are in relationship to you. But after that first 60 days, you get paid out on what we call unilevel. So unilevel is cool because you get paid 7 levels deep. So on the first level, so again, you have the people, if you go back to this, if you imagine these are your levels, the orange people are your first level, the pink people are your second level and then third level, you can go down up to 7 levels and get compensated for that. And you also have the ability to place people deeper down in your tree, which is a kind of a cool thing that you get to do. So you get 2% on your first level, 7% on that bottom level. The super cool thing that doTERRA does is, actually I'll go through this first. I'm gonna roll these numbers out for you guys. So this is what that would look like based on the average LRP order, which I think is somewhere between 125 and 150. If you had 3 people on that level, you get $9 for your first level, all the way down. You guys, these numbers are staggering. On the 7th level, you get almost $23,000 just by people reordering products. This isn't brand new people. This is people that are already within your existing organization. But this is the cool part about doTERRA. So in what every other compensation plan I've seen, doTERRA inverses these numbers. So you're actually getting paid the highest amount on the deepest level. Whereas in any other compensation plan I've seen, you're getting paid the highest amount on the top level. So yes, people will maybe make a little bit more money if it was a similar product. I'm going to argue that oils are a little bit more sustainable and magical of a product than some of those other things out there. But you get paid the lowest on that 7th level. So you can see the difference between that 7th level and paying out, you know, that $6,500 versus $23,000. That's a huge, huge, huge income difference. And the thing that I really love about this is the reason why doTERRA structures this is because they're structuring for leadership. They want to help people who are leaders and teaching and educating their teams, because that's the mission of doTERRA, is spreading the love and knowledge of oils. So it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not. I'm going to tell you that up front. There's definitely work that goes into it, but there's a lot of power, especially for those people that are in it for the long haul. And of course, you can see there's definitely ways to make up the cost of your oils before unilevel even happens. So unilevel ends up becoming the largest part of your paycheck. Okay, so if you think all the ways to get paid is over, not quite yet, there's another way. So again, they're rewarding leadership and compensating leadership with their compensation plan. So this is what we call a leadership bonus pool. And I'm going to explain all of the ranks to you and the average income that they make, but I'm going to first tell you about the bonuses. So Premier is the first rank that you need to help other people achieve a certain rank. And so that's what this is about. We get to help other people achieve their goals. And so for Premier, you get an extra share, and this is of the company's profits that they put together, and then they split it up between all of the people that hit that rank, and you get this every single month that you get that rank. Even if it's not new, you still get it. So you get a share for Premier and a share for Silver of another $200. You also get another share for Silver that's about $150. You get 1 share of those profits. And then for Gold, you get 5 shares, which averages $750. The rank after Gold is Platinum, which you get 10 shares, which is another $1,500. By Platinum, easily people have the other $1,500 bonus plus their unilevel. So this becomes a huge pay increase for most people where they begin to replace income altogether. The cool thing about that, there are ranks beyond Platinum, and the shares, you get bigger shares because of it's a higher rank. So you get 1 share for Diamond, 2 shares for Blue Diamond. So Diamond is $4,000 bonus every month. Blue Diamond, $12,000 bonus every month. And Presidential Diamonds get, the average share is a $12,000 bonus every month. So I hope that's exciting to you guys, because that is very possible. We know people that are doing that all the time. I just hit Diamond for the first time last month. So there's a movement happening within doTERRA, and it is taking off right now. So these are the different ranks that I am going to go over for you. So Executive is one of the very first ranks. There's 2 ranks actually before this. But Executive is probably the first one where you are becoming intentional about teaching classes that you would hit this rank. And so this on the bottom, it will tell you the average time. So this can be helpful for you. It takes most people to hit that rank that are actively teaching classes. And then, or educating people, maybe teaching classes isn't necessarily your thing, you're more one-on-one, you can figure out a way that it works for you. What that means is you have 2,000 organizational volume. So if you know that you're spending at least 100, that's your personal volume, within your whole organization, that would be 2,000 is what executive means, and that's about $100. So this is when you would be getting the cost of your oils covered, if that is your goal with doTERRA. If you want to move beyond that, Elite is the next rank. And this is 3,000 overall volume with a monthly income of 300, and the average time to reach Elite is 3 months. Premier is 5,000 overall volume. This was that first leadership rank that I mentioned. So not only do you need 5,000 overall volume, but you also need 2 people to be executive. So you can see that first, what executive entails. And the average monthly income for that is $1,000, and about 6 months to hit Premier is the average. Silver is the next and the first true leadership rank. And so the average income for silver is $2,400, and you need 3 elites to qualify as silver. And that average for that is 18 months. Gold, average monthly income, $46,000. You need 3 premiers to hit gold, and the average for that is 27 months, so just over 2 years. Platinum, the average monthly income is $8,700, and you need 3 silvers. So platinum is the first time that this can be a 6-figure income, if that is what you are looking to supplement or replace income altogether, or quit, a different job, or change your finances in that way. Obviously, 6 figures is a very decent income. And then the average monthly income for diamond is $16,000, and that would be 4 silvers. And the average time to get there is 42 months. And so I was just doing the math on this right before hopping on here with you guys, and I think I hit diamond in like 39-ish months. So I'm average, and I think that is so funny that all I have to be is average to hit diamond. And I don't mean that in a self-deprecating way, but in a way of, I just if you show up and if you do this, it will happen. It's amazing, you guys. It's amazing, this opportunity and what it has provided. Blue diamond is the rank after diamond, and the average monthly income for that is $3,800, and you need 5 golds. Presidential diamond is a 6-figure income a month at over $100,000. The average time to do that is 72 months, and you need 6 platinums to do that. And the cool thing about doTERRA is because it is growing so fast and so much, people are actually doubling this. So there are people who are double presidential diamond or triple diamond. That means they have 2 presidential organizations and then a diamond organization. It's crazy, the potential. So these are averages. Obviously, sometimes people do this slower, and there are people, a lot of people who do this way faster. So it kind of just depends on your goals, your needs, and the time that you have to put into it. So that's where you can see all of the ranks all together. If you want to screenshot that, I know that can be super helpful to have as you're kind of looking at this and seeing where you would like to go with doTERRA. And an analogy that we use a lot in doTERRA is, are you hauling buckets or building a pipeline? So again, this is the linear compensation plan. So we use this story of, imagine this guy in a village, and he has an amazing product, because what he is doing is he's walking to the river every single day to get water, and then bringing it back to the village so people can have it, because otherwise they don't have access to water. So he's hauling buckets back and forth every single day. He has job security, right? Everyone needs water. Then he comes up with this idea, what if I didn't have to walk back and forth every single day? He did what he needed to do to pay his bills, and then beyond that, any extra time, what he did is he started building a pipeline from the river to the village. And once he builds the pipeline, he does what he has to do, and then he can turn the spigot on and out flows the water. And that's the idea of residual income, is you've created the pipeline, you've built the system, and then you get to just let the water flow. And when people talk about getting paid in your sleep, this is the part that they are referring to. Okay, so why doesn't everyone build a pipeline, right? This isn't for everyone. This might not be even for everyone on the call today. So sometimes when people are looking to build a pipeline, they go into a franchise or some kind of small business. They want to own their own business. The average cost to set up a franchise is $250,000. That's average. That is a huge cost. Obviously, you need space, you need employees, you need supplies, you need the bills for the space, all of these things. And 8 to 10 of those new businesses fail within the first year and a half. These are all statistics we've heard, right? Or when we see different restaurants always popping up in the same location. 96% of businesses fail within 10 years. The cool thing about network marketing is that the cost is very low. Our $100 or 100 PV order a month is nothing compared to $250,000. So the cost is low. We're going to be using the product anyway, and it's very low risk. So that's one of the benefits to network marketing. The other benefit is that the product is provided. We don't have to invent anything. We don't have to do the testing, and we don't have to do any of the sourcing. We don't have to do any of the shipping, and we actually don't even have to do much customer service. We do because we love the people that we're working with, but Doterra has an amazing customer service line, and they do all of that for us. So there's a huge benefit to having all of these resources already at our fingertips, and we just get to share about oils and teach people how to use them. And the cool thing about this is people say financial freedom. I know we talked about finances a little bit in the beginning, but really what I'm talking about, what appeals to me and what I'm guessing appeals to you is time freedom, right? It's not about the money. It's about getting to choose what you do with your time, whether you want to go on vacations more or be able to go on vacations more or hang out with your kids more, see their events, spend time with family, all of those things. That's really what we're after, is the time freedom. Some people just want to choose what they do, right? We don't want to be in a job that we don't like. We want to be in a job that we love, that we get to create something of our own and build our own community. And financial freedom is the tool that provides us those things. The question that always comes up, is this a pyramid scheme? And I like to answer this on the front end because it always does. It always comes up, and maybe that's been your hesitation. Maybe you've wondered it. Maybe someone else in your family has wondered about it or asked you about it. And the answer is, one, no, because pyramid schemes are illegal. That is true. It's been outdated for a long time. Obviously, there's some really lack of integrity, people running companies that did some poor things, but that's true in network marketing, and that's true in the corporate world as well. So network marketing, all it is, like we talked about, it's a marketing model, which means the company decides to pay its, you can call them distributors, Doterra calls us wellness advocates, to share their product. And really what Doterra is instead of, paying the marketing and they're paying us, they're not just a network marketing company, they're actually a direct sales company. And why that's important, there are network marketing companies out there where people get paid just by getting you to join. That's not the way that it works in Doterra, and that's not ever the way that it's going to work. You get paid when a product sells, right? So someone can sign up. We could sign up 100 people, and they can pay for the membership, $35, and we wouldn't get any compensation on that. We only get paid when people are buying product, when there's a value, right? So direct sales specifically is the network marketing industry that Doterra is in. So why Doterra? So first, Doterra is the largest essential oil company in the world by far. They're, I think, 9 years old. So in comparison to other to other essential oil companies out there. They're not the oldest, but they grew very fast because they had a team of executives that were experienced in essential oils that came together. They knew the strengths of essential oils, how to properly and ethically source them, and also how to, they wanted stringent testing. They wanted the purest oils. They wanted access to this to be able to give it to their consumers. And that wasn't something that was really being provided at a high level, especially as oils become more mainstream. In other countries, they're already very widely used. It's just now becoming mainstream here, which means a lot of other people are seeing, or we're seeing a lot of other companies start to provide essential oils, right? Like, companies have no business in essential oils, like Best Buy or, wherever it is that, you see essential oils on the shelf, that they're doing it because they see an opportunity. That doesn't mean they're experts and they know how to give you the highest therapeutic value oil, which is what Doterra started with as their product. The other cool thing why Doterra, they use co-impact sourcing. So if you guys have already used oils, I know that you guys probably already know this, but this is a piece of it that is very near and dear to my heart. If you're in our Kindred wellness community already, you know that this is a huge piece for all of us educators in there. Is co-impact sourcing means Doterra gets all of their oils where they grow indigenously. Obviously that for us physically or scientifically gives us a higher quality oil. But the super cool thing about it is that means they're making an impact in other countries. So 2/3 of Doterra's oils are coming from developing nations. So Doterra is providing access to clean water, and they're building schools. And their ethics, you guys, aren't just on the testing and sourcing of their oils. It is, if they're going to build a school for community, they're going to make sure that women or girls, females, can also attend school in that same building, or they won't partner with those people. So across the board, their integrity and their ethics are, I've yet to see something that that compares to what Doterra is doing around the world. But most importantly, what they're doing is teaching the leaders and the community leaders in those countries to be self-sustainable. And not necessarily teaching them, they're giving them a tool to do it, which is amazing. So the other cool thing about Doterra is they started, they're really obviously into a global impact, creating a global impact with their co-impact sourcing. Beyond that, they created their own nonprofit, all of which goes to the Healing Hands Foundation. You might have noticed if you are already an oil user that there's a little box, donate, to Healing Hands Foundation on any order. It's just $1. That's with the rose lotion and the hope oil. 100% of those proceeds go to Healing Hands Foundation. And what they're doing is they're partnering with organizations to stop sex trafficking, to give access to feminine hygiene products to communities where girls are ostracized for their cycle and normal biological functions. But they also have some quick responses, especially this past year with, the shooting in Vegas, or with floods, fires. They've been able to provide a lot of relief kits, immediate relief to some very tragic situations. So they're doing really amazing things. Okay. Oh, that slide must be out of order. Sorry, guys. Okay. The healthcare industry. This is one of the last pieces that I think is so, so, so important when you're talking about what opportunity you're going to get into. You guys, I love Doterra. Obviously, I'm passionate about it. We're all passionate about it. The educators that are part of the Kindred wellness community. But residual income is something that I think everyone should be pursuing, essential oils or not. I think our opportunity with Doterra compared to other network marketing companies is the bar is set high. I haven't seen another compensation plan that compares. But beyond that, the product that we're dealing with falls into the healthcare industry, which is one of the largest industries and also one of the most broken industries. And Doterra is doing a lot of things to remedy that. Obviously, they're getting oils into people's homes, and they're actually now starting to create medical clinics and their own healthcare line that kind of removes all of the in-between middle people that makes healthcare costs so high, which is really cool. And if you guys have interest in learning more about that, I will shoot you a link, but that's a whole nother webinar that I could get into. But the reason why I bring it up is because it is such an interesting time to be on the business side of doTERRA, specifically because it's in the healthcare industry. So the healthcare industry is a $1.7 trillion industry. doTERRA is about a $1 to $2 billion company that actually probably has grown. This is from a presentation last March, so I think I'll be getting the new numbers when we go to our leadership event, but we'll say $1 to $2 billion company. In the next 10 years, they project to be a $20 to $30 billion company. Obviously, the healthcare industry will grow as well, but this is a huge jump, you guys, $1 to $2 billion to 20 to 30 billion. And so I know that there's this thought, I've actually heard people say this. I've been to a yoga class recently, and the instructor said, I was in Salt Lake at the time. I had a studio. Someone approached me about doing that business with them, and I should have said yes, because she is making so much money now because she was on the ground floor. And the myth I want to dispel is that we are still on the ground floor. $1 to $2 billion going to $20 to $30 billion company is a lot of growth. And what happens is, obviously there's always early adopters in any industry where people join in. They are, they're probably people that you would already identify as healers, and they were in. And now oils are becoming mainstream, very mainstream, which means the market is opening up vastly because people want natural solutions, right? We're tired of going to the doctor and not getting answers, or our doctor not even knowing us and spending 5 minutes with us and giving us a prescription before getting to spend time with us. And we're tired of synthetics and toxic things that are in our households and our medicines, quite honestly. So it's a very exciting time to be a part of this opportunity if you find it of interest to you. Lastly, one of the most important things when you're looking at a business opportunity, or when you're talking about residual income, is retention. So this means how many people are in it, not just one time, but continue to order the product. So the industry average for network marketing and also for the healthcare industry, for those that are in network marketing, the industry average of people reordering is 8%. So if you enroll 100 people, if you share 100 with 100 people, 8 of them are likely to keep using your product. In doTERRA, that number is 65%. So this is huge when you're considering what you're creating, because that means 65% of people are continuing to reorder doTERRA oils. And we all know that's because they're amazing, they work, and we love them, and we don't know what we ever did without them. Okay, so entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can live the rest of your life like most people can't. I truly believe that. Again, I just have to emphasize this isn't a get-rich-quick thing, but this is if you want to build a community of people like yourself, people that you want to be around, like-minded people that are interested in health and wellness, that this is a fantastic place to do it, and we have all of the tools to do so. We actually have a launch workshop coming up for brand new people that have joined us on January 6th. And if you are interested in that, the first thing I would do is connect with the person that invited you here. You can join our team group page, just like we have a user page. We have a page for people who are interested in the business side with lots of resources. And then obviously we have that launch workshop. If you are not yet enrolled in oils, there's lots of amazing promotions right now. So you can connect with the person that invited you here about that as well. Okay, if you guys want to hang out with me, you can find me mostly on Instagram, Kate Harrington Clifford. I love chatting oils and business things. And I am so thankful for all of you guys being here, because that is, this is a piece that is very exciting to me, that I love, that I get to share and keep talking about and spreading the message. When I started, it was just me in Portland. I mean, obviously there's other people that used oils, but I didn't know them. The person that introduced me was in Nashville, and we now have like 800 people that are part of our Kindred community. And so it's really exciting to me to watch that grow and watch the ripple effect that I get to be a part of, but also that I get to see so many of our educators also be a part of, that it's so big. It's such a big movement. If you guys have any questions, you can unmute yourself. If you want to keep just typing them into the chat box, I will make sure to get them. Oh no, I'm assuming you guys can hear me. Erica said her audio wasn't working. I love that, Tabitha. The last 3 years of my life have been better for this amazing group of women and Doterra. Yeah, Doterra, you guys, people will say this to you many times if you decide to go in with Doterra, that it is a personal development course with a paycheck. It is life-changing in the best of ways. And you also get to be a part, obviously you get to be a part of our team, but the culture of Doterra is one team, and everyone is very generous with their resources. The community as a whole is something I've never seen. The women rooting for each other. Obviously, men can be a part of this too, but it's predominantly women. That is a fact, and that is something that I've never experienced, to see women rooting for each other so hard. Erin, a little late. Can you share the slideshow? I can, yes, and I will also have this as a recording that the person that invited you here will have access to. Or if you're already part of our team page, I'm going to post it there as well. Okay, am I missing any questions? Yeah, Brittany says Doterra leads with the product, not with the opportunity. That's huge. That does set Doterra apart for sure. Okay. Any other questions, you guys? I have like 9 minutes. I allotted an hour. I feel pretty good. I'll let you guys look at my mug. Cup. Is that your question, Jenna? Can you have it?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I could have that.
We'll see. I'll think about it.
I have a fox one, Jenna. You might like that one too.
Oh, what?
A fox one.
Okay, I have a fox one. I just want the unicorn.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stop recording. Thank you guys for joining in.